Welcome back to Viking football with Bruce Barnum, and you can see we've flipped the script. Coach Barnum now on the right side of your screen, and I'm on the left. And Coach, maybe changing a few things up this week, or trying a few things different. Is that how we got here?
Changing a little mojo. Mike, we're all right. We have to stop giving away points. We're giving away too many points. We gave away 14 to them, to Montana State. You can't do that and win football games. So cleaning some things up, the attitude and the effort will give us a chance.
Yeah, I just finished watching practice here on a Tuesday. A lot of noise, a lot of excitement on the field, a lot of guys getting opportunities. One of the reasons why is you kind of get to the point mid-season where injuries start to play a role. Obviously, injuries played a role last week for the Vikings, missing a number of key players: Anthony Del Toro, Malik Cyphers, Andre Pitties-Wilson. Of course, Garrett Stauffer is injured and out. And that makes it a little tougher on the coaching staff to figure out who's going to get into the rotation and help your team.
It is, but we have to make sure that the ones that are healthy, the right guys are on the field. You saw some young guys there at the end just because some of our key positions at wide receiver chipped up, and so you saw a little bit of a jump to the future here. But when you have 43 freshmen and, red shirt and normal, and where we're at as far as our classes and where we're going, that's good to see. Matayo catches a touchdown, so in a very short drill, so that's fun to watch.
Reference to Matayo Talalamotu, a redshirt freshman wide receiver who I actually saw make a few pretty good catches today on scout team. He's a Viking of the future, a local kid. Moving on now, Coach, let's talk about Northern Arizona. And before we talk about the team, I'm going to talk about the head man down there, Jerome Sowers. 20th season at Northern Arizona. He's the dean of Big Sky football coaches, and this will be his last season. I believe he holds the record for the most wins of any Big Sky football coach ever. Jerome Sowers actually spent a year at Portland State as a running backs coach in 1985. He's an alum of the University of Oregon, so he has some ties to this area, and I'm sure you know him pretty well from all your years in the Big Sky.
Knew of him when I was back east and jumping around as an assistant. When I got here to Portland State, I met him a couple more times when we played them. But the opportunity to meet him now as a head coach and in our meetings that we have in the off season, a lot of respect. Try to pick his brain as much as I can. Everybody does, so I try to get what I can out of him. But that'll be a hit to the Big Sky. I don't care how you look at it. And they're playing. He's a player's coach. And right now they are playing with the emotion. And, it's not for Jerome right now at Northern Arizona because they're a very talented football team. And they always have been, and they play hard. But there's some emotion in the background going on right now. I saw Jerome, one of the films we're watching, Jerome's out in the field waving a towel and riding a horse. I said, what in the hell is that? But good for him, going out with a bang.
Jerome Sowers, 115 career wins at Northern Arizona, and this will be the 17th time he has met a Portland State football team as a head coach. Okay, let's talk about the team itself, a team that throws the ball extremely well. You start with the quarterback. Case Cookus 2 years ago was the National Freshman of the Year. He's got a great wideout in Elijah Marks, one of the top receivers in the Big Sky. And you look at the numbers, Northern Arizona last in rushing in the Big Sky, but that's more a function of how good they are with the passing game.
They are. You and I had a chance to talk to Case down there when he got that award in Texas. And then last year he had a tough go with the injury, but he's back. He's full blast, and he's good. He's a very talented student athlete. And he has weapons to go to. Playing well on offense, flying around on defense, because we traded him. They took Vern from us. Coach Smith is down there, and he's got those guys flying around with a fire in their rump.
Northern Arizona 3-2 on the season, and more importantly, they've won their last 3 games, including a win last week, a big win over 11th-ranked Illinois State. And I see they even got into the coaches poll this week. Northern Arizona ranked 24th in the national coaches poll, so really a tough ask for the Vikings at home.
I'm glad we have them at home. Because playing up there at the walk-up Sky Dome, that place is tough. I'm sure their record is better with the W's at home. So getting them here helps, and we're going to give them 60 minutes. I don't care what our record is. We have another opportunity. That's how our kids see it. We're putting something together to get after them, and it's going to be a good football game.
I'm also glad we're not at the Walk-Up Sky Dome, because every time I go there at 7,000 feet, my lungs start to hurt, my chest tightens up, my lips get chapped. It's high and dry up there.
Jerome's smart. He puts those signs in the restrooms for you guys. If you're about the altitude and if you're going to pass out, it's go ahead. You know.
Yeah, they warn you about altitude sickness up there at the Sky Dome. Okay, let's get to the Vikings. Some positives we can take away. The Vikings, pretty competitive with Montana State, but you alluded to it earlier. Gave away some points in that game. Ended up losing 30-22. What do we take away from that game as some positives and maybe some things we also need to work on?
Starts with defensive line. Our defensive line played the best game since I've been a head coach. Just how they flew around, how their pursuit, how they got after our fits weren't all the time great. We're after the front, but our defensive line played very well. Wide receivers, you saw some great catches. In times we had to have them towards the end of that game and getting out of a hole to try to change the field. Things are going the right way, Mike. We just, things. We have to catch a punt when we're in the end zone. I knew there were going to be some growing pains with the kicking game, but we're there. They're our guys, but they're pups, and mistakes like that I knew I was going to see this year when he dropped the punt in the end zone. So wash it away, and don't drop it anymore. You only get one of those your career.
All right, the Vikings getting ready for Northern Arizona, a team that passes it well, a team that's hot. So as we go into that game, what are you looking for from your team, keys to winning?
Keep the ball in front of us. Case is going to pick you apart. And we're going to try to give him different looks. Other than that, we're 60 minutes of hard-ass football and clean up our mistakes. I'm glad we did some things good last week, like we're referencing earlier. We didn't turn the football over. Our penalties yardage was cut down. So we're moving in the right direction. We just got to get one under our belt.
All right, the Vikings taking on Northern Arizona this Saturday at Providence Park, 2 p.m. It's a homecoming football game. Come out and watch the Vikings as they take on the Lumberjacks. You can hear the game on Rip City Radio, 6:20 a.m. Get all the details on Viking football at govikes.com.